lay down, and for the moment, just be however you're comfortable. Arms really wide, close in. Well, the same thing, legs maybe go out long or knees bent. Give yourself a moment to arrive. And take a little check-in. Notice your mental activity, your thoughts are taking you. Notice your physical body. If anything is calling your attention. Notice the quality of your breath. How it feels to breathe. This moment just to honor where you are. Physical level, on an emotional level. Honor where you are. Take care of yourself as you move through your practice. Really, as you move through life, especially for the next hour or so. Let's take a little reach. Stretching the arms up by your head. Legs can stretch long, or my knees are bent. I'm taking a little side to side. Just anything at all here. And then let's do this. Keep your left arm where it is and let the right arm come down just alongside you. And also put the left leg long. So the left arm and the left leg are long, the right knee is bent. And walk the right foot out a little wider, so it's about as wide as the mat. And you'll just press the sole of the foot, right foot into the floor, and the hip will lift, and it'll create a little bit of a twist through the body. But keep it pretty small, pretty gentle, and then you'll come back down. So do that a few times more. The right side presses, and feel free to, at any point, if you want to move the placement of the foot a little forward or a little back. You can also experiment with the speed that you're going. You might just take a really slow, kind of lingering one, or you might go kind of quickly with it. Yeah. So we're going to add on to this movement. The right leg is still going to be doing its thing. Take the right arm, and as the foot pushes into the floor and the hip lifts, let the right arm sweep the floor and go up by your head, and then you'll roll over. So you're almost trying to roll over onto the left side. And then you'll unroll, rewind, come back where you started. So do that a few times. The right leg pushes, the right arm sweeps, and then we undo. Now earlier we were pressing with the heel on the floor. Once you go to this bigger movement, if you want to lift the heel, that might feel better. The toes on the floor. Let's take one more time on this side. And then when you return back to center, release both arms down, both legs down. Just take a breath. Take the right arm, just let it come up by your head. The left knee will bend, planting the foot on the floor, and walk the foot wide, about as wide as the mat. And then we'll press down through the foot, letting the hip lift, and release it back down. So just start with that, keeping the arm, the left arm, just where it is for now. And whenever you want to add in the arm, as the foot is pressing, sweep the floor and let the arm come up by your head. The heel can lift and will turn so you're on your side. And then we'll undo, returning back to center. And do that a few more times. So the foot presses, the heel can lift, roll, and then we unroll, returning back to center. Just a few more like that. Great. And next time you return back to center, let's pause. Release the arms, release the leg. Just give yourself another moment. In and out with the breath. And then let's bend up the knees, feet on the floor. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Give the legs a little squeeze. You can rock from side to side if that feels good. And then we'll just take an easy twist here. Keep the right leg in, put the left leg long. And then let's take the right leg over to the left side. You choose how far you want to go. And we'll return through center, changing to the other side. Left leg comes in, and over we go. We'll come back to center, and both knees will come in once again. Once again, any kind of movement that you like here. And when you're ready to turn over, we'll meet in the all fours position. So take your time to get there any way you like. And we'll do just a little of this, a little of that. Once you're in the position, take the right leg back, toes tucked under. Gently move yourself forward and back here just to stretch out a little behind the knee, the calf. And then we'll stay. Spin the heel to the floor, turn the chest to the right, and lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Press the left hand down into the floor, and then we'll arc the right arm over and turn your face to look down. Returning the hand to the floor, the knee to the floor. Let's switch sides. Left leg reaches back, toes tuck under, forward and back we go. Just a couple of times like that. That's it, and then we'll pause. Turn the heel to the floor, turn the chest to the left, lift the left arm. Press the right hand down, and then take the left arm up and overhead, looking down towards the floor. Great, we'll release the arm, release the knee. Come back to child's pose here. Let's take the knees a little bit wider for this one. Hands press a little bit down and forward. Feel free to wiggle the hips back and forth if you like that. And then from here, we'll keep the knees wide. Return to your all fours and take the left hand a little forward and a little more towards the midline. Inhale, turn the chest up, lifting the right arm. And then as the exhale happens, scoop the arm under, bend the left elbow, and we'll do a few of these on the same side. So the inhale is a twist open, and the exhale is a twist close. Let's take one more time up, and then we'll meet the next time the arm scoops underneath. And we want the head to be able to rest. If it doesn't touch the floor, we'll put a block under it. Yeah, there's a few different variations of this pose. You take the one you like. Let's do this though. Take your right arm, the back of the arm, and just press it downward into the floor. See what that does. Yeah. And then to get out, let's press the left hand down, reset. Keep the knees wide, but bring the hands right under your shoulders. And let's take a few just simple cat-cows here. Reestablish the midline. Yes. And then we'll pause. Take the right hand a little forward and a little to the left. Inhale the left arm up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, let's scoop underneath. We bend the right elbow. Take that a few more times. So the inhale, we turn open, and the exhale, we close. Let's take last one here, open, and then when we close, we'll stay in the down position, resting your head. Right arm can do anything you want. Let's take the back of the left hand on the whole arm actually and press it down towards the floor. Yes. Right hand presses into the floor. Let's return to our center. Reset the knees so the knees are right underneath the hips. Let's take a round of cat-cow again here. So we're going to add this to the circular cat-cow. Round in the cat pose and stay rounded as you shift back to child's pose and let the elbows bend. On the inhale, try to pull the hands towards the knees, the collarbones widen, we shift forward, straighten the arms, and we're back up. The exhale is a rounding and a going back. Elbows can bend. And the inhale, we pull ourselves forward and return up again. Take a couple more of those. Alrighty, the next time we head into child's pose, let's be there with the toes tucked under. Walk the knees back a little bit, push the mat down and forward, just a little stretch for the soles of the feet. And then when you're ready here, we'll come into downward facing dog and take any movement that feels good to you here. For me, it's usually pedaling out the legs and shifting the hips around. Yeah. And then let's go wide in your stance, the feet about as wide as the mat. Bend your knees here and walk the hands back, propping yourself up so the forearms are on the thighs. And then we'll just hang out here for a little bit. If you wanted to add in some movement, a little side to side might feel good. Thing really is fine. Yeah, we'll stay in this position kind of as our base. Move the chest forward and let's turn open to the right. You can lift the arm, coming into a little twist. Down comes the arm, we turn open to the left, second side, same thing. And down comes the arm. Let's do one more of each. All right, root down through the feet. Use the inhale to rise. We'll come all the way up this time. Yeah, and then bring the arms down alongside you. We'll stay in this somewhat wide position. Bend the knees a little bit and just slither yourself around. Move the shoulder blades, the spine, the elbows. All right, and then I'll mirror you here. Let the movement settle and keep your somewhat wide stance. Right arm will do a little slice, forward and up. Lift the right heel and look up towards the hand. And then we'll unslice, coming back down, switching sides. The left arm does the same thing. Down we come, we'll go once again, but this time instead of looking up, look down towards the down hand. Yeah, and then we'll switch last side here. The arm comes up, but the head turns down. That's it, and we'll release, coming back to center. Reset your stance so the feet are just right underneath you here. And why not take a few hula hoops, circling out the legs, the pelvis, to the other direction. Yes. All right, so let's stay at the back of the mat and reset yourself so the feet just right underneath the hip sockets. And this time, take a little weight shift forward and back. So feel kind of how the weight moves, depending on where you're shifting. And then see if you can go back, but not all the way back, right at the front of the heels, and we'll stay there. Press down firmly through the front of the heels. Take the arms out and up, and as you lift the arms, think of lifting from the triceps to the pinky fingers. Keep the lift, and without lowering the arms, relax a little through the inner shoulders so there's more space in the neck. Keep pressing down through the heels and up through the fingertips. Inhale, we'll stay. And then on the exhale, take it down. Forward fold. You can bend the knees here if you like. Take a halfway lift, moving the chest forward. And then let's lower down here, walking the hands out until we get into plank pose. Yeah. Once you're in your plank pose here, let's actually set the knees down for this first one. Broaden the collarbones, lift the belly. Press the hands down into the floor, and without moving the hands, try to turn away from the midline. So the right hand is trying to turn clockwise, and the left hand is trying to turn counterclockwise. Keep that. And without moving your hands, try to squeeze the forearms in towards the midline. Yeah, nice strong arm position. Let's bend the elbows lower down to the belly. And then we'll give the hands, the wrists a little break. Stretch the arms back here, backs of the hands to the floor. Curl the fingers and make a loose fist. And then bend at the wrist so the knuckles come off the floor. Just hold that for a second. Yeah, so in a second, when we let the fingers go, we'll lift up into Shalabhasana. Lengthen yourself, inhale, grow long. And then on the exhale, come back down again, make the same fist, and just hold here for an extra breath or two. Yeah. And then on the next inhale, we go again. Lengthen to lift, fingers grow long. And down we come. Last one, make a fist, curl it in. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we lengthen to grow long. Fingers go towards the feet. Yeah. Stay here. Take the hands just right under the shoulders. Lower the feet down. Let's peel up into Cobra and then downward facing dog pose. Yeah, take a second in your down dog if you want to pedal the legs or shift the hips around, whatever feels good to you there. Good. And then let's meet at the front of the mat this time. Forward fold. Root down through the legs. Inhale, we grow tall. And then exhale, arms down. Great. So we'll do just a little bit of a flow here. We'll alternate between all fours, child's pose, all fours, and down dog. And I know you practice with the blocks. I actually quite like this one on the blocks, so I'm going to use blocks myself. Let's start at the front of the mat. Blocks can be any height. Inhale, we're up. And then on the exhale, we're down, forward fold. The inhale is a halfway lift. And then the exhale, let's come down. Step the legs back a little bit and come down into your all fours position. Yeah. So this will be the pattern. I'll talk you through the first few rounds and then we'll do a few rounds without me talking. So inhale, we stay. And then on the exhale, go back to child's pose. Inhale, we return back to the all fours. And now on the exhale, tuck the toes under, lift up and back, downward dog. The inhale brings us forward and down, all fours. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale back to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now take a few more of these. So the inhale forward and down. The exhale, taking it back. Inhale back to center. And exhale, downward facing dog. Just take a few more rounds here. I won't say a word. If you get stuck, just repeat something twice. No big deal. Now, wherever you are in the sequence is fine. Just keep going, and we'll meet in child's pose. Yeah. And then once you do get there, let's flip the blocks so they're on the medium height. Rest the forearms on the blocks and let the wrists drape over and the fingers just kind of hang. And then you'll create a little bit of a traction for yourself. So keep the arms in place and see if you can scooch back a little bit so that it creates a little bit of a pull. Right. And let's undo that. Move the blocks just out of the way. And then we'll come forward and down again onto the belly. This time, let's lengthen the legs again. Take the arms in front of you and kind of wide, a little bit like a cactus position. Hands are further forward than your head. And without moving the hands, try to pull them apart, away from each other. And still without moving the hands, try to drag them back towards your feet. As the chest comes forward, you'll lift, but it's not a big lift. It's more of a push-pull sort of thing. So the hands drag back, the chest draws forward. Hands are also pulling apart. Yeah, and then lower yourself down. Let's do that again. Hands pull apart, and then try to draw them back. As the chest comes forward, we come forward to come up. If you'd like, you could also lift the legs here. Now let's do one more time. If you wanted a little extra, slide the hands down a little bit so they're roughly in line with the face, but still kind of wide. Pull the hands apart. Try to drag them back as the chest comes forward. Legs can lift if you wish. The hands will stay on the floor for this one. Yeah. And then down we come. Reset. Hands right under the shoulders. Press up and back. Downward facing dog pose. And then from here, we'll meet standing forward fold. Root down through the legs, little bend in the knees. Use the inhale to rise all the way up we come. And release the arms down alongside you. Yeah, great. So let's do a few warrior two side angle variations, and we'll just get into it from the middle of the mat. So you can join me here, separate the legs. And I'll mirror you. We'll go this direction first, meaning the right leg will turn in and the left leg will turn out. Hands to the hips at first, and as we bend the left knee, think of the inner knee to the inner groin, to the inner knee lengthening outward towards the front of the mat. And at the same time, the outer knee to the outer hip is drawing back in. Yeah, making that little circuit. Let's take the arms out wide. And then pretend the arms begin right at the sternum, and from there to the fingertips, lengthen. Turn your face to look left, but keep your brain in the right hand and grow the right fingers even longer. Yeah, good. So we'll stay here, we'll add a little dynamic movement. Turn the palms up. Inhale, we lengthen the front leg, lifting the arms. Exhale, we come back down, palms face the floor. Let's take a few more of these, and if you wanted to, you can let the head follow the left fingers. Yes. Let's pause here the next time the knee is bent and the arms are wide apart. From here, take the back hand to the hip, come forward and down, forearm to thigh on the left side. Now the right arm here, let's do this. Take the arm down, just kind of let it dangle, and then let it sweep forward and up. Keep your gaze though down at the floor. Let's inhale here, and now as you exhale, bend the elbow into your face to look up at the ceiling. Do a few of those. So the inhale, the arm reaches, we look at the floor, and the exhale, the elbow bends, and we look at the ceiling. Twice more. Yes. From here, let's press down through both feet. Bring yourself back up. Go ahead and let's release the arms, actually hands to the hips, and change the legs. So the left one turns in, the right one turns out. From the inner groin to the inner knee, we lengthen as we bend. That's it. Take a second just to get there. And then from the sternum outward, the arms grow long. We'll turn your face to look right, but keep your brain in the left fingers and make the left fingertips even longer here. Yeah, let's turn the palms up. Inhale, we rise, straightening out the leg. Exhale, we bend, arms go wide. Let's take that a couple more. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could watch the right hand, letting your head move with the hand. Good, let's do last one. And then we'll pause with the arms wide, take the back hand to the hip, and come forward to come down, resting the forearm on the thigh without collapsing down. You will stay lifted. And then let the left arm, let it at first just kind of dangle down, and nice and easy little swing forward up by the side of the face. Let's keep your gaze down. Inhale. And then on the exhale, bend the elbow and turn to look up at the ceiling. Inhale, we'll lengthen the arm looking at the floor. And do this a few more times. The elbow bends, we look at the ceiling. And then the arm straightens and we look at the floor. Now go again. And then on this last time here, as we bend the elbow, we'll press to come back up to the center. Let's parallel the legs. Come in for a second. So you can do that any way you like. Just a little Charleston here. Yeah, let's take a little hula hoop as a reset. Awesome. Go the other direction. And then we'll take triangle pose, and I'll have us do it a couple different ways. So for round one, if you like to have blocks, just set them up one on each side of the mat. And we'll go again the same position we started in. So this wide stance, yeah. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out. And then just take a slight bend in the left knee at first, and we'll find this tilt in the pelvis, yeah? Go ahead and let the right half of the pelvis come a little forward, and that'll help you move more. The knee stays bent. Let's stretch long through the left arm, palm faces up. Press down through the heel and try to push the heel forward as you draw the right thigh bone deeper into the hip socket. Straighten out the leg. Yeah. Grow long, long, long to come down. Hand eventually will land on, you could have it on the block or on your shin. And then from here, let the chest spin away from the floor, lifting up through the right arm. Pretend your arm begins right at the center of the chest, and from there to the fingertips lengthen. Yeah, and then on the bottom arm, press down into the floor. You could stay looking up at the ceiling, straight ahead, or down towards the foot, whatever feels best. And then we'll stay in the leg position, but we'll add a little movement here. Take the top hand down to the hip and turn your face to look at the floor. And let the right half of the pelvis also turn a little bit towards the floor. Not all the way, just a little bit. Yeah. Now from here, pretend there's like a bungee cord from your navel to the left foot. Yeah, so there's kind of a connection there. Breathe in. On the exhale, turn the chest away from the floor, but the navel stays connected to the foot. On the inhale, undo. Do that a few more times. So the navel towards the front foot, but the chest turns away from the floor. Yeah. Do one more time. We'll stay in that position. Good. From here, on the back leg, really press down through the heel. Let's lift the top arm. Bend the front knee just a little bit and pull yourself all the way back up to center. Nice. Same thing, side two. So hands to the hips, let's change the legs. And we'll start with a little bend in the right knee and find the tilt in the pelvis, and let the left half of the pelvis also tilt. Let it kind of turn in a little bit, just a little. Yeah. And then from here, let's press down through the right heel. Try to press the heel forward as the thigh bone draws back and in to the pelvis. Reach out through the right arm, out, and then down comes the hand on something, the block, your shin. You could even have it on the thigh if you wanted to. Then from this position, press down through the hand, turn the chest away from the floor, from the sternum to the fingertips, lengthen the left arm. Yeah, you can turn your face to look wherever is most comfortable. Just kind of expanding outward in all directions. And then let's take the top hand, put it to the hip, let the chest turn a little towards the floor and the pelvis a little bit as well. And now we've got that bungee cord from the navel to the right foot. Yeah, connection. Inhale. On the exhale, turn the chest away from the floor. And then on the inhale, we undo. Let's do that a few more times, moving on the exhales. Yes. And then the next one will stay. Just one more moment. Keep that bungee cord there. That's it. Lift the top arm. Bend the right knee just a little bit. Press down to come up. All the way we rise. We'll parallel the legs. Bring yourself back in any way you want to get there. Yeah. And then let's just take a second. Just a little pause. Maybe even close the eyes. Just reconnect with your body, your breath. Yeah. In a second, we'll do a wide forward fold with a few extra things. If you know you need something for your hands, you can redo the blocks so that they're at the front. And then from here, let's go wide again, but slightly less wide than you were a moment ago. Look down, and we don't want the legs and the feet to turn out here. We want the toes to point straight ahead, the knees to point straight ahead. Keep a slight bend in the knees right at first here, and we'll hinge from the hip crease. Come forward to come down, landing the hands right underneath your shoulders, on a prop, on the floor, on your fingertips, wherever you are is fine. And before we straighten out the legs here, at the very, very tops of the thighs, press out wide. Think of in your feet, inner ankles up to the inner knees, up to the inner groins, lifting. Yeah, press down through the ball of the big toe to counter that. And then let's go straighter in the legs. Yes. Walk the arms forward, but not a lot forward, just a little bit. And don't let the hips come forward, just the arms. And go onto your fingertips if you can. Yeah. So from here, with the arms forward, walk them a little to the right, not too far, just a couple inches. Let the left knee bend and let the pelvis shift back. Keep the arms in place. Straighten out both legs. Now bend the right knee and let the pelvis shift back. The side's tighter for me. Yeah, we come back to center. Walk the arms over, not all the way, just a little bit to the other side. And let's at first bend the right knee, shifting the pelvis back. And then the leg straightens, we bend the left knee and shift the pelvis back. That's it. We come back to center, take the arms right underneath the shoulders, and if you're on blocks, that's fine. Move the left hand so it's right in the midline underneath your face, right hand to the right hip. Now, in a similar way to when we did triangle pose, find that imaginary cord between the navel and the left foot. Inhale. On the exhale, let the chest turn to the right, and it's not going to go that far. Inhale to undo. 2 more times the same direction. So navel stays towards the left foot, but the chest turns right. Good, last one. Nice, we do second side. Right hand down, left hand just to the hip. Navel towards the right foot, inhale. And on the exhale, we turn. Inhale, we undo. Do that a couple more times. So with this version of, it's a twist, the pelvis isn't really moving. If we were doing it a different way, we would want to shift the pelvis, but for now, it's not really moving. That means the whole movement will be smaller. Nice, let's put the arm down. From here, heel to the feet in just a little bit before you come up. Bend the knees, press outward through the thighs, tone the belly, come up on an inhale, all the way we stand. Yes, friends, release the arms, step the feet just right underneath you here. Let's take a few little hula hoops. Good, and then go the other direction. Yeah. All right, so I know you've got some good wall space. We'll do this calf stretch on the wall. I'll just talk you through it. I'll have my back to you, but you've done this before. So let's be with your chest facing the wall. Right leg steps back, heel to the floor, left knee bends, so kind of a warrior one stance. But we want to have the forearms on the wall. And you can either interlace the fingers or have the forearms parallel, whichever you want here is fine. And then from this position, press the right heel down and back. And then press your arms into the wall and try to drag the arms down as you create a little tone through the belly. Now from here, take a little tail wag, just a little shift of the pelvis from side to side. Good. And then we'll pause. We'll undo and we'll redo, changing sides. Left leg is back, right leg is forward. We want the left heel on the floor. I don't remember if I said that on side one. And then the front knee bends, forearms are on the wall. Press the back heel down and try to press it back. Press the forearms over the wall and try to drag them down towards the floor. Let's stay here and add in a little side-to-side hip shift. Great. Okay, let's come out of that, back to center. Oh, all right. Head back to your mat. Let's set up the blocks at the front. And we'll do some warrior ones, more of a dynamic warrior one. So come to the front here, hands to the hips, step the right leg back, heel to the floor, similar to where we just were. And before we go anywhere, really press the heel down and also press it back. Send the arms forward and up. Inhale. On the exhale, we bend the front knee, bend the elbows, hinge forward, engage the upper back. Do this a few times. So the inhale is an up, and the exhale, we come forward and bend. Yeah. Take it one more time up, and the next time we come forward and bend, we'll hold the position just for a sec. Keep the front knee a little bent. Take the arms down, and let's actually do the wider version. Step the left foot a little wider and bring the arms to the inside. Yeah, this one will probably feel a little better if you said you just ate. And then you'll press the left heel down into the floor and press it forward as the left hip draws back. And let's move the chest forward here. We'll just stay in the flat back position for the moment. Yeah. Now, do this. Just take your left hand and place it on the sacrum and see if you can sense here if one hip is higher than the other or anything like that. Try to level it off. And then we'll set the hand back down. Yeah. Now listen here. To get out of the position, we'll step the right foot forward into kind of a wide squat, so it'll step outside of the right hand. Bend both knees here. And you could either rest forearms to thighs, you could come down lower for a malasana, or you could come sit on the block if you wanted to. I quite like this version. Yeah, you could do 2 blocks if you wanted to. And we'll just stay here for a second. See if you can lift the chest, broaden the collarbones, and very gently, if you're in this position with me, squeeze the legs into the arms. You'll feel the inner thighs engage. Yeah. All right, now the hard part is coming out. We will press down into the floor, coming back to that kind of forward fold, but keeping the legs wide. So let's do that. Reset. Yeah. All right, and then bring the legs back in, root down to rise up, all the way up we stand. And release the arms. Second side. So, just set up the blocks so they're ready. Right leg is forward, left leg is back, heel down on the floor. And before we go into the movement, really press the heel down and back. Yeah, let's keep that. Lift the arms. This is an inhale. Exhale, we'll bend the front knee, bend the elbows, we cactus and we hinge. Inhale, we re-lengthen and lift. And do that just a couple more times. Good. All right, let's stay. Next time we're in the down position. That's it. Keep the upper back engaged. We'll lower the arms down. Let's take it to the inside of the right foot. You can walk the right foot a little bit wider here. Press down through the heel. Draw back through the right hip and try to move the chest forward. Yes, we're in this wider pyramid pose. Pick up the right hand and just put it on the sacrum there and feel. Notice what you notice. Try to make it level, and then we'll set the hand back down. One more time, move the pelvis back, move the chest forward, find the leg. Exactly. All right, so we'll take that wide position again. The back foot will step forward. You can bend the front knee a little bit. Step the back foot forward, and then you choose. You're staying up, or you're coming down, or you're coming on the blocks. I'm going to do the 2-block version. It's a little more stable. And then here we are in whatever variation you're taking of this. Yeah. Now, if you're in the same one or similar as I am, press the arms out and the legs in a little bit. Can you lift the chest? Can you broaden the collarbones as if your collarbones here could smile? Yeah. All right, yogis, to get out of this one, let's again take the forward fold, and if you need to reset your blocks, you can. Good, good. We'll bring the feet just underneath the hips, root down to rise up. Inhale, we stand. And exhale, the arms down. Great. All right, so let's do a little balance work. We'll keep it simple. We'll do a tree pose, and then we'll do something else. I don't know if it has a name. We've done it before. So I'll mirror you. The left leg will stay down. Right leg, just go onto the ball of the foot here, hands to the hips. And without the pelvis moving, let the leg just open and close a couple of times. Yeah. And then we'll stay with the open position. And from here, you could stay on the floor, you could come in, you could come up, just don't go right on the knee. Yeah. And then once you're somewhat stable, press the standing foot down, like really press it down into the floor, and hands can do anything you like. So make sure you're breathing in this position. And then we'll release with control. Just step the foot down. Try not to fidget a whole lot. Hands back under the hips, second side. At first, just lift and do our little open close, keeping the pelvis still and letting the movement happen at the thigh bone, right at the hip joint. Yeah, we'll stay in the open position. You choose if you're staying low or coming high. Once you've found your spot, press the standing foot, really press it down. Yeah, engage through the core. Hands can do whatever you want. Find your breath, find your focus. Yes, and when you're done, just stand, try not to wiggle around. That's it. So for our next position, back to side one, right leg will lift, and just hold on to the knee or the shin, and if that's no good, you can just tap the toes on the floor and lift the heel. Just like we did before, though, really press the standing foot down. Really press it down. Yeah. Lift up through the belly. If you feel okay to let go of the leg, do. And send the arms straight up, like lasers. From the triceps to the pinkies, lift up. Press the sole of the foot down. And relax the shoulders without letting the arms come any lower. Yeah, I know it's work. Great, we go straight to side two. Right leg comes down. Left leg comes up. We'll start holding on just to get a feel for it. And then down goes the right foot. Tone through the core. Find that strength in the abdomen. Up come the arms, triceps to pinkies, lift. But let the shoulders relax. Not so much that you collapse. Yeah, stay lifted. And press down through the standing foot. Oh yeah. And then everything releases down. We just stand, take a moment. Yeah. And then if you do want to go ahead and wiggle and fidget, take a second. Great. So after all of that, we probably need to stretch this guy out a little bit. Let's do it in a lunge position. So we'll do lunge with a knee down. If you need padding, you can set that up. Have the blocks handy. Root down to rise up. Exhale, we come down, forward fold. Halfway up we come, we lengthen. And then lower yourself down here. Let's step the right leg back. Knee down on the floor, and have the toes back if you can. Yeah. Then from here, let's come up. Just rise up. Yeah, length. And then we'll do this. Take the hands to the top of the left thigh, right about at the middle of the thigh. Press down and look down at your hands. Now on the right leg, think about from the front of the knee, up the leg, up the belly, the whole front of the body kind of lifting. And then the back, from the buttocks kind of down to the back of the knee, let that descend. Yeah. Keep the lift in the front and shift the pelvis forward just a little bit. Yeah. Do one more thing on this side. Let's come just up with the torso and then down with the arms. And take a few rounds to bend and straighten the front leg. Just a couple of times. Yeah. Now, if you know your hamstring tends to cramp or your quads are just super duper tight, I'll have you stay down without lifting the foot. If you're okay to try it here, come forward, and then you'll turn to look left. You bend the right knee, reach back with the left hand, and maybe you can find the foot here or the ankle. Now, some of us, especially the flexible folks, tend to just kind of drop down. Let's do the opposite though. Back the pelvis up for a sec. Lift up through the belly, and then come forward without losing the lift in the belly. Yeah. Oh. Funny, I used to be flexible. I think those days were over. Yeah, now very gently, Let the leg go, return the torso to center. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Step the back foot forward, root down to rise up, and then the arms come down. Got a second side. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Halfway up, we lengthen. Down we go, left leg comes back, knee down on the floor. And then at first we'll bring the arms and the torso just up, coming into this lunge variation. Yeah. Then from here, we'll place the hands in the middle of the thigh. Look down, so there's a slight rounding in the upper back. And from the knee all the way up the thigh, up the belly, kind of the whole front of the body, find a lift up. And then think of the buttocks to the back of the knee dropping down. Shift forward a little bit if you can. Just a little. Left side is my tighter one. All right, let's back off of that. Take the arms down and take a few rounds just to bend and straighten the front leg. Little hamstring stretch on the right. Yeah. And then we'll pause with the front knee bent. If you're adding on here, turn your chest and your head to the right, bend the left knee, hold on to the foot or the ankle, and just for a second, back the pelvis up. Lift up through the belly, keep the lift, and then shift a little forward. Yeah. Now if you do end up kind of dropping really far, my guess is you're probably not using the belly, which will help give you a deeper stretch in the quad. It'll also keep more support through the whole system. Okay, let's gently release, return the torso back to center. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee. This time we'll go downward facing dog. Yeah. All right, take a child's pose. Knees come down, hips shift back. Have something under your forehead. That could be your own arms, that could be a block. And just let your head roll from side to side. All right, and then let's return upright. We'll do a brief sitting sequence and then we'll take it down. So let's all mirror you here. Take the right leg out to the side and draw the left knee in. And instead of Janu Shirshasana where we go this way, we'll go through the middle for more of an inner thigh stretch. So have the hands down behind you. Press down into the floor, sit up tall. Mind the right leg. We don't want to let it roll in or out. Right in the center. And then keep the hands behind you for a second as you press down and back with the hands so the chest moves forward. And then from here, if you wanted to, you could take the arms forward and come a little bit lower. But if that's not working out, or if you find either the hip lifting or the leg turning, then don't go any further. Excuse me. One more thing here. Start to crawl your arms back to center and now turn towards the bent knee. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Press down to lift up. Sit. And then, Mary, you know what you need to do here. I'm going to take a side bend. This is, for me, the side that feels good. And the other side's not going to feel good. So you do one side and not do the other. You guys at home, just do whatever. The two sides don't have to be the same, I should have said. Yeah, let's come back up to the center, undo. And then we'll bring the right leg in and the left leg out. We'll start the same way we did before. So hands press down to sit up. Try to press the hands back as the chest angles forward. It's my tighter side. So I'm not going to go any further than this. If you wanted to crawl the arms out forward, you could. I'm going to keep my hands behind me. Do mind the left leg. Make sure it doesn't roll in or out. Yep. And then if you did come forward, let's come back in. Come back upright. Turn towards the bent knee here. Left hand to right knee. And then on this side, for my body, I'm just gonna stay in this twist. If you wanted to lift the right arm up and go over, that's an option. Crazy bodies of ours. It'd be so nice to be symmetrical, but it's just not the case. All right, friends, let's undo whatever you've done. Send the legs out just in front and just in a very gentle way. Give them a little babasana. Yeah. And then let's come down onto your back. We'll just take a few little windshield wipers and then call it a day. So the feet kind of wide, let the knees drop one side and the other. A little bit similar to what we started with the one-sided version, but now we've got the two going. Up to you if you want to just keep this going back and forth, or if you want to stay and linger on one side. And if you did that, I would stay and linger on the second side. And if you did that, we'll come back to center here and just press the hands into the thighs, just to do something symmetrical. And if there's anything else that you need to do to feel more complete before Shavasana, go ahead and take the time. When you do feel ready to lie down into your Shavasana, you can go ahead and arrive. Yes, friends. So as you settle in, let's take another check-in. So we begin in a very similar way. See if things feel any different on a physical level, on a mental level, on a breath level. Just honor whatever is. As we rest these next few minutes in Shavasana, let it all go. Even the tracking, the observing, the noticing, just let that go too.
Bring your attention back to your body. And start to take any sort of movement, maybe a little reach, wiggle. When it feels right to do so, you can bend the knees and roll over to one side. We'll meet up in a seated position, hands right at heart center. No rush to get there. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.